Hey, LeBron, Mike Trudell from LA. Just wondered, what were you looking to get accomplished tonight, not individually, but as a team? What was the focus, and how did you feel like the team and your teammates responded?
Well, first of all, I want to continue to shed light on, justice for Breonna Taylor and to her family and everything that's going on with that situation. To answer your question, we want to just try to get better. We use this moment as a training camp to continue to implement our identity. Our identity is to defend, share the ball, push the tempo, and play together. So I think we was able to accomplish that to as close as 40 minutes as possible.
Dave?
Hey, LeBron, David Benjamin. We're used to seeing you write BBZ or Savannah or Gloria or Strive for Greatness on your sneakers. Obviously, you had the Breonna Taylor message today. I'd just like to ask you about putting the message on your sneaker. Then also, what would you like to see the next step occur in terms of getting justice for her family?
Well, we want the cops arrested who committed that crime. Obviously, in the state of Kentucky, what's going down there. I know a lot of people is feeling the same. And us as the NBA and us as the players, me as one of the leaders of this league, I want her family to know, and I want the state of Kentucky to know that we feel for it and we want justice. And, that's what it's all about. What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And this is a wrong situation that's going on in my eyes and it's in a lot of other eyes, not only here in America, but I bet in the world as well.
Tanya?
This feels hard to transition to, but the atmosphere that you guys had tonight, you guys were so animated and loud and very into it, despite having no crowd here. Can you just take us through what that was like and if it mattered to you guys?
Well, the same energy that we had on the floor is the same energy that we have towards having justice for Breonna Taylor and her family. And that's the energy that we bring to the game, and that's just who we are. We got a close-knit group. We have a lot of togetherness, a lot of brotherhood with this franchise, and we care for one another, not only on the floor but off the floor as well. So you got to create your own energy here. We understand that there's no fans. Our wonderful fans is watching this game on the TVs, on the laptops, phones, iPads, whatever the case may be. So it's about us creating our own energy, continue to make understanding what we're here for, and that's to get better. So that's what it's all about.
Kyle Good?
LeBron, you're talking about Breonna Taylor. A lot of players here are talking about Breonna Taylor and also kind of look up to you as a leader in social change. What does it mean to kind of see a lot of people following a path that you kind of blazed, starting with Trayvon Martin, and now we're here?
It's just who I've been for quite a while now. Never afraid to speak about, things that I was knowledgeable about, that I had insight on, and I was, up to speed on. And with the Trayvon Martin case, that obviously years ago, with that situation, I spoke about that situation. With the George Floyd incident that happened not too long ago. That's a horrible incident, and also obviously the Breonna Taylor situation. It's unfortunate that it's fortunate that we had the George Floyd video to see it. I mean, is that what we need to see a video of Breonna being killed for people to realize how bad the situation is? I don't even believe they was at the right place, right? Cops wasn't even at the right place. They just knocked down the wrong door and started doing what they do at that point in time, and that's just shooting away, and that's just not okay. So I never shied away from being who I am and speak about things that not only affects me, that hit home for me, but also affect my community and affect Black people, because we've been going through it a lot. I've seen a video today of a Black man inside like a Walmart or Target or whatever trying to buy a bike for his son, and the cops was called on him. He had a receipt and everything, and the cops was called on him. They arrested him inside the store and took him outside. And it's just heartbreaking, man. You guys don't understand unless you're a person of color. You guys don't understand. I understand that you might feel feel for us, but you can never really truly understand what it is to be Black in America. So, but once again, that's what it's about.
Dan Wokey.
Hey, LeBron. Along those lines, Kyle mentioned that Trayvon Martin photo. That's 8 years ago. Today, you played an NBA game on a court that says Black Lives Matter. Could you have imagined that movement, which kind of was spawned out of that Trayvon Martin tragedy, that it would reach this level where there will be months of basketball played with that everywhere that people look?
Well, first of all, I love the game. I love the NBA. I love what we've built, not only here in America, but all over the world. I think this is the most precious, beautiful, impactful game in the world. But a lot of people kind of use this analogy talking about Black Lives Matter as a movement. It's not a movement. When you Black, it's not a movement. It's a lifestyle. we sit here and say it's a movement, and okay, how long is this movement gonna last? Don't stop the movement. No, this is a walk of life. When you wake up and you Black, that is what it is. It shouldn't be a movement. It should be a lifestyle. This is who we are, and we understand that, and we know that for one step that someone else might have to take, or for 1 yard someone else may have to take, that we know we got to take 5 more steps, and we know we got to take 10 more yards to get to the end zone. I mean, we understand that. We know that. So, but also what makes us, as strong, makes us as powerful. It makes us so unique and unified, is that we had so much hardships in our life, either from personal experiences or loved ones, or reading history, or seeing videos, Rodney King, or just being a part of just the communities that you in, where you just racially profiled from the time you come out of the womb. So, it's not a movement. I don't like the word movement, because unfortunately in America and society, there ain't been no damn movement for us. There ain't been no movement.
Hey, LeBron, you've been fighting for social justice for a long time now. Do you feel like this is a unique opportunity, being in the bubble, with this being a topic of conversation to really affect change right now?
For me personally, or you think for our league?
For society as a whole, for you and for other players to be able to influence change?
I don't know, Melissa. I mean, I do not. I don't wake up and say, okay, let's use the bubble as an opportunity to speak about us as people of color. It's just what I am. It's who I am. It's what I stand for. I got 3, Black kids at home. I got my Black wife is at home. My mother is Black, coming from a single parent household. I'm the only child. So excuse me, but no, I didn't need this bubble to speak about what I'm about. That's who I am. But I think the greatest thing that could come out of this is guys in this bubble, guys that may not or may be scared at points in time to speak about things because they feel like it may affect how people view them, or affect a certain situation. They say, okay, well, I'm not LeBron. I can't do that. That's not, he can go up there and say that. It might affect, something going on in my livelihood, but this opportunity is giving guys to really, truly just be like, okay, it's not, because it's a time where we are being heard. Either if you really care or not, we're being heard, and that's what's most important.
Last 2 questions, Joe.
I think back to just the time in Cleveland, sitting up against the wall, talking about Ferguson, wearing the "I Can't Breathe" T-shirt, the speech at the ESPYs, all the way to now. If you would have told the 2016 LeBron what is happening now, would you say that was progress? Or what would you say? What do you think you would say it was?
Well, I would say it's progress for America.
The attention, sort of the kind of nationwide being fed up with what has happened. What do you think you would say?
I would say a lot. In 2016, Barack was our president. We know what's going on now. So is that progress? I think we all can sit and say that's not progress. The conversations that's being had right now, and how many people are really listening, or just having the conversations, trying to make things happen. I think that's progress, but we got a long way to go. We got a long way to go, and until it's crazy because you look at just like common sense. Everyone knows what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. Like you just know that. I mean, you don't have to like black people, or you don't have to care about what I talk about, or care what we're here all about, or care if Black Lives Matters on the court. But you know what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. There's not one human being that does not know that. I mean, if you're a little kid and someone comes, you outside and it's recess, and a kid takes your juice box, that kid know that was wrong. It's just no matter if you care or not, you know that's wrong. Why did you do that? You know it's wrong. So a lot of people kind of shy away from that. But until we just that's like one small piece of it, but it's a very intricate piece of it.
Last question, Taylor.
LeBron, you talked about what you want next for Breonna Taylor in terms of justice, but what do you want next in terms of us, in terms of Americans? What does an improved America look like to you?
I mean, it's a great question, and it's something that I rationalize and think about it every single day. What's next? What can I do next to make an impact in our communities? Not only for my people, but also for America in general. Obviously, justice for Breonna Taylor is number one on all of our lists right now, because we know the story, we know how this is crazy what went on with that situation and how horrific it is. So, but for us as America to get better, that's a question that we kind of tinker with every day, and it's something that I play with in my mind every day and listen to the people around me, and also listen to my family, things of that nature. But the conversations, people sometimes are just afraid to have a conversation, and I think one of the best things in life is communication. No matter what, if you could just sit there and talk to someone, look at someone eye to eye and say how you feel, no matter if they like it or not, you can respect them. Somebody might not agree. I don't agree with what you say, but if I could look at you dead in your eye, and you can look back at me and say, listen, to each his own. I don't agree with that. Then I can respect you out of that. But a lot of people cannot even have that conversation of actually looking someone in the eye and telling them how they feel. And a lot of people, when they tell you how they feel, I have to be able to accept your response. No matter if you tell me what I want to hear or not, I have to be able to accept your response. So I think that's very key as well, just having a big form of communication. So we end this with justice for Breonna Taylor. We're going to continue to harp on that.
So LeBron just reiterated the message about justice for Breonna Taylor, and just wondered how that struck you, in addition to being on the court and seeing Black Lives Matter right there at center court.
Whoa, hurry up. You only got 2 questions.
It means a lot to us. I mean, especially as an African American, and the situation with Breonna Taylor, and trying to get justice for her and her family. It means a lot to us to see that on the floor, and the NBA is doing a good job of helping us, represent our culture here inside the bubble and on a national level. So it means a lot to us, but we still have a long way to go.
It's Bill Warren with The Athletic. A lot of guys have used this opportunity to speak out for justice for Breonna Taylor. I'm curious how it's different when you hear LeBron speak up on issues in the locker room and on matters, of societal importance. How does his voice strike differently, if at all?
I mean, he's top player in the league. He speaks on a lot of issues. He likes to voice his opinion on a lot of topics, and when he speaks, obviously his name and his word holds a lot of weight. And so when he speaks, a lot of people listen. So I'm just happy I'm able to be along his side and get a lot of knowledge from him and learn from him, and kind of be there and speak out with him. So, but when he speaks, the whole world listens.
What kind of conversation has there been amongst you guys as a team about doing this and about talking about her today, post game? Yeah, just not necessarily conversation just today, but what kind of conversations have you guys had about doing what you're doing now?
Yeah, I mean, the entire league is having meetings together and just figuring out ways that we can support her and her family and figure out ways that we can help. I mean, that's the biggest thing. It's just an injustice for us, and in order to do that, we can't be silent. We have to be the ones to speak out. Use our platform, and I think the league and each individual team and each individual player has been doing that. You see around the league, a lot of guys doing interviews are really just talking about that, and the more we can kind of get that message out, hopefully the more and a lot quicker the justice can be served.
Are there ideas outside of this, just talking about it in press conferences, or are there ideas that you guys have brought up or talked about of other things that you can do maybe? I don't know what those would be, but I'm just wondering if there's things that have come up.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of ideas. I mean, different ways we can help. I mean, each team, is handling it differently. Each player is handling it differently. But the main thing is just getting that message out there, one way or another. And I think each team and each player is doing that respectively.
How good?
AD, obviously, there's a lot of just really fraught situations in the country going on, including, the reason behind these social justice sort of movements going on and the violence there and the pandemic. In that light, I mean, what does basketball, in sort of having these courts and that time with the team, what does that mean to you? Does it take on added significance that you can have those moments?
First off, I mean, basketball is a very small thing when it comes to real life. Obviously, we love to do this, and everybody had a choice to either come or not come. But I think when you look at it and what's going on in outside of this bubble and what goes on in real life, basketball is very minute. And I think us playing basketball and using our platforms to be able to speak out against anything is helpful. Just so happening in this case is social injustice. So I think if we look at it and put it all into perspective, yes, basketball is great, but I think the bigger picture is a lot bigger than basketball.
Anthony, it's Dave McMahon out here in LA. It was announced this week by the White House that there'd be federal troops sent to Chicago, where you're from, and I don't know if you've seen what has happened from the federal troops that have been sent to Portland. But I wanted to see if you had any thoughts on that.
I did not see that.
Okay.
Mark Medina?
Anthony, good to see you. When you're talking about using your voice and your platform with speaking out on these racial issues, the fact that the season here is going to take place through October, by that point, what do you hope can be accomplished with all this?
Change. I mean, obviously we know it's not going to happen overnight, but being here and like I said, using our platform and being with other players, who has a big platform as well, and being together and partnering with the PA and the league, and the league we have Zoom calls with people and organizations and stuff like that. So we hope a lot can be accomplished when this is all over. But it's continuing to having these meetings and these talks to figure out what we're going to do. We can talk about it, but at the same time, we want to see action. I mean, the more we speak out, it only goes so far. We would like to see action, and within these 3 months, while playing, basketball and using this as a time to get better for ourselves, physically. But at the end of the day, we want to see change. We want to see action, and I think being in this bubble for 3 months, a lot can be accomplished as a league, and I think there's no better place to do it than with the top league in the world.
Hey, Frank, it's Mike back in LA. LeBron just spoke pretty powerfully about race relations in America for a good, seemed like 10, 15 minutes. And just wanted to see your observations of him throughout this time, whether at the facility or just that I know you remained in contact, texting and so on, and just the leadership that he's shown, especially towards these issues of social change.
Well, no one's been more vocal on raising awareness for these topics than LeBron James. And he and I have had some talks about it, but in particular with some of our Zoom calls when George Floyd died, at the hands of the police force. He was very vocal in just leading our group right there with the right perspective to have and understanding our viewpoint that action is needed. It's not just enough to speak on it. It's not enough to be silent. It's definitely not enough to be silent. And LeBron, like everything with us, he's been a leader in this regard.
Allie, you can take it from here.
Great. Tanya, Kyle. Mark, go ahead, Mark. Mark Medina.
Yeah, the fact that you've gotten a chance to hear LeBron and Anthony, other players speak out on these issues, what do you think you've learned and gained extra perspective from when they've been talking about this?
Well, I'm hopeful that all of America has been educated over the last couple of months, since we've reached this tipping point. And it's time that enough is enough. Racism is a problem in our country, and it always has been. And you hope that the younger generations do better than the generation before. But these killings cannot keep happening. And it starts with education. But we're in a position right now to affect change with more strength than we've ever been in before. So we're hopeful that this this restart, so to speak, gives us that opportunity, that platform to initiate a lot of these conversations and just help affect the change that our country so desperately needs.
Alan Sliwa.
Hey, Coach. I'm curious to know if this was kind of the vision. There was talk before the NBA restart that some of this might be a distraction, and we've clearly saw how much the NBA is doing, how much the players are doing, obviously the coaches as well. I know it's early, but is this kind of the vision of the potential of raising awareness? And we're just in scrimmages right now, but as the season progresses.
That's the goal, to strengthen the message. We have to stay on the message and we have to strengthen the message. And this to me is just the beginning of what this next couple months is going to be about. And hopefully obviously we want it to continue on past that, but with all the talk that it could potentially be a distraction, we want to make sure that's not the case.
Tanya.
As a white man, there are a lot of white people who struggle to talk about racism and who struggle to talk about these issues, or don't feel like it's that either they're placed to or don't quite understand it. I'm just wondering what your journey was to trying to understand sort of what Black people in America go through and to being comfortable talking about it with us here.
Yeah, well, it is a conversation that we all have to get comfortable having. We all have to get more comfortable talking about racism, and it's a human rights thing that is just it's too much of a problem in our country. It always has been, and a lot of that is about becoming comfortable. And with these conversations, I personally want to recognize that I've lived a life of white privilege. So, I don't experience the same things that people of color have experienced throughout their life. And, with these conversations over the last few weeks, a couple of months, I've heard story after story after story of incidences where friends of mine were profiled, and treated unfairly because of the color of their skin. And it's not right, and hopefully we've reached a tipping point, that change is coming, that the NBA, our players, our league are going to be vocal, and hopefully we can move the needle.